Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Garry-Lamont Network. My name is Garry-Lamont. For those of you who don't know, I'm a Cal student. I'm a junior here, majoring in political science, minoring in global poverty and practice. Today's episode theme is going to be medicine/wellness. Later on, I'll have an interview with one of my friends who is a pre-med student here at Cal, and he's gonna take us through some of his wellness techniques and what his thoughts towards medicine and present day society. But before we get into that, I wanted to spend the first portion of this episode kind of getting a check-in with the community, just seeing how you guys feel, getting in tune with yourself, getting in tune with, the community around you, and just checking in. I know here at Cal, we are in the midst of our semester, so things are getting a little chaotic. Um, we have a lot of assignments that are due. We have exams that are rolling out fairly soon. So, I just want to check in and make sure that we're checking in ourselves. And for my working betas out there, I know it seems like the hustle and bustle seems to be nonstop. Even with it being a new year, it seems like the same things are kind of continuing. So, this episode is a check in on your wellness and your spiritual journey and just make sure everything is good. You know what I mean? I find it very helpful for myself to just stop some point in the week, if that's once or twice, and just kind of hone in on what I have going on mentally, internally. You can do this in many forms. Some people do it the religious route through prayer. You can also do this through meditation. You can do silent meditation where it's literally just internal thoughts. One of my favorite spiritual gurus online would probably have to be Leora Alexander, and I'll drop her handles in the link or in the description of this episode if you want to check her out. But whatever your fix is, whether that be going in nature, going on a hike, or just going to a park and walking around for a little bit, make sure you're making that time for yourself. And if you haven't done so already, try to find a moment throughout this week to create that space where you do have time to just, invest in your mental well-being. A little location drop, because I haven't said it already. I am in I'm on West Campus. It's kind of like the Redwood Forest, I call it. It doesn't have a legit name, but it's right next to Campanelli Way. The creek, you can't see it, but it's over the bend. Yeah, and I'm just out getting a little bit of nature. For me personally, I have, so much going on from school or academic requirements or academic demands. The club I'm involved with on campus, Cal Perk, it's our pledge week. If you see me on campus, you better pledge. We're out here trying to save the oceans. I'm not going to spend my whole video explaining that whole campaign, but if you see me on campus, stop me and I'll explain it to you. In addition to my podcast and editing, it's a lot, but finding moments like today are very important to me and honestly very helpful in my success. I know a lot of times we are all battling, internal thoughts, whether that be just trying to shift how you show up in the world, addiction, self-image. This world or this life that we live is very complex and difficult at times, but taking the time to have these self-care moments are extremely important. What I will say to those of you who are battling with some sort of internal conflict is be kind to yourself, and Rome wasn't built in a day. Take your time, pace yourself. It doesn't matter the distance of your step, it matters how many steps you take, and every step counts, So be kind to yourself, continue to show up for yourself, and things will eventually work out. I have a playlist that I listen to whenever I get a little anxious or a little overwhelmed with life. I call it my stars playlist. I'm actually going to open it up to the public later this week, hopefully by the time this episode airs. So if you guys want to check that out, and I call it stars, the stars playlist, not because there's a lot of A-list artists on it, which I mean there are. We range from Adele to Beyonce to Bob Marley. But yeah, that's not why I call it the stars playlist. It's the stars playlist because to me it's something that keeps me in tune with the universe, and we are all stars or planets in this galaxy just circling around trying to figure it out. So I call it the stars playlist because it helps me connect to the universe and stay grounded in myself and stay at peace with myself. I'm not going to spend too much time on this intro. If you are listening right now, please, please, please make this promise to me, this pledge, this declaration to yourself. that if you have not already, sometime this week, you will stop, you will go outside, you will breathe in the beautiful air, you will make time for yourself, you will meditate, you will do whatever you need to realign and refocus back to your center to get you back to you and check in on yourself. So, once again, this is the podcast episode of Medicine and Wellness, checking in with all my community and all my people, and checking in on myself, and just reminding you guys to be present, be thankful, and keep striving for whatever path or journey you are currently on. All right, guys, you guys have a good one, and this is the Garry-Lamont Network. Yeah, we can. Okay.
Only officials.
Right. Damn, I really don't want my shorts.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. Hi, guys. I'm here with, you want to say your name?
My name is Jack.
Yes.
Last name Hayworth.
Yes.
Just in case you look me up.
Google it. And I'm gonna interview Jack about some things. First, how are you doing?
Tired.
Same AF. So you guys can know a little bit of lore. Me and Jack have been out in these streets today, okay? He went on a 6-mile hike.
That's right.
6-mile hike. I was in the fields working. Okay, this sounds kind of racist. I was doing volunteer gardening work. It wasn't
It was for the community.
It was for the community. There it is. Yeah. Okay, so first question. What is your major?
My major is integrative biology with an emphasis in ecology.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
What is ecology?
Ecology is sort of the study of animal and plant and sort of just environmental systems from the perspective of almost numerical values in a way, and then also population dynamics.
Okay.
So if I were to give an example, you could think of it there's a prey and a predator.
Yes.
And you have a certain amount of prey and a certain amount of predators. And if there's a lot of predators, then the amount of prey gets smaller, right?
Gotcha.
But if there's a lot of prey, the amount of predators gets smaller, or the amount of predators gets larger because there's enough food for them to eat.
Yeah.
So kind of working with those dynamics in different environments.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I took a marine biology class.
Okay.
And we were talking about how the prey to predator ratio is extremely important to have a healthy
balance.
Yes.
Yeah, balanced ecosystem.
Yes. So that's cool. That's really dope that you found it. What drew you towards that major?
So it's kind of funny because originally I did not think that I was going to go down this path at all.
Mm-hmm.
I was okay, medicine, only the business.
Yeah.
And then I was maybe I'll give this a try, There's two sides of biology, I feel, and whenever you go to university, and it's the try-hard pre-med students, and then you have the people who are just having the best time going out in nature and having a beautiful time.
Yes.
And I wanted to be that.
I love that. Yeah. So is the business side more so the medical?
Pretty
aspect?
much,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So IB, which is my major, has two emphases.
Okay.
One of them is human biology, and the other one is ecology focused.
Okay, gotcha.
They have a lot of the same requirements, but one you just take one more class, either for human biology or for ecology.
Gotcha.
And there's a few more details, but they're not really important.
If someone wanted to be a doctor,
yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Would it be smarter for them to take the
human biology focus?
Yes.
So here's the thing.
Okay.
If you don't have to do any specific major to become a doctor.
Okay. I was about to ask that
exactly.
too.
Yeah.
It's the same thing for being a lawyer.
Okay, exactly.
You can
doctor, lawyer, hand in hand.
Yeah.
You can take whatever major you want.
Yeah.
You could be a history major.
Okay.
You can be I don't know. You can be anything you want.
Yeah.
You can be underwater basket weaving major. I've heard that one around.
Shut up. That is not a real major.
It's not.
I was that is some very Bay Area stuff. Because there's
Yikes.
no way. No shade. Wait, are you from the Bay?
No.
Okay. No shade to anyone who is from the Bay.
Sorry, Bay Area people.
Next question. What does EMT mean?
Emergency medical technician.
Perfect. Okay.
So basically, it involves working in an ambulance
Okay.
or working like events, and you're doing sort of the primary care. So like before you get to the hospital, pre-hospital care.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of limitations on what we can and can't do because we only get like, some programs are literally like 2 weeks, I think. Mine was 6 weeks. But like you're not getting the maximum like amount of, you know, skills in that time. And your ability to work as an EMT also depends on your county. Okay. So you originally learn all the skills. Yeah. However, to actually practice those skills, the county has to allow you to do it. So, and there's also different ambulance companies that also like sort of tell you what you can do and can't do. So there's like a whole bunch of like red tape and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Okay. That's so cool how like in certain counties you can do certain things. Also like I thought when you were gonna say like you can't do certain things, I was gonna like assume it was like due to liability reasons. Like, you know, we don't want you to work on your like do CPR on a specific patient because we don't want to have like legal responsibility.
I think that it probably did stem originally from the liability. Like I think back in the day, like in the 70s, I think when EMTs were starting to sort of like grow. Yeah. Because like before that, like pre-hospital care was basically non-existent. Okay. But then it like the people were like, wait a second, people are dying on their way to the hospital.
Yeah. So wait, were there like no ambulances, or was there like nobody in the ambulance to take care of the people to get them to the hospital?
I mean, I'm sure they had like some sort of like ambulance-esque thing, but it wasn't really formalized or like it was very. I would assume, because I can't say that.
Yeah, we weren't there, unfortunately.
2002. Let's go.
I'm a 90s baby.
We love that.
We love that. Yeah. EMT though.
Yes.
Okay, so you basically make sure people stay alive till they get to the hospital.
Exactly.
Got you. Okay, bet. What, I don't know if I asked you this already, but what drew you to that? What made you want to be an EMT?
Yeah, so I would say there was multiple reasons. So I want to be a PA, which is a physician's assistant for anyone that hasn't heard of it. And they require around 3,000 hours of patient care experience. So that's a lot.
That is a lot.
And in addition to having to get that experience, you should try to do it in a way that shows that you've put in the work and you've been tested. So people can do this, like I would say on the lower level, you can be like a scribe, like a medical scribe. On the other end, you have like EMT and stuff, or like medical tech or nurse or something, like something really high demand, like of your skills, and will test you constantly. And being in that sort of job shows the school that you're applying to that you know this is what you want to do. You are like skilled, like you know what you're doing basically. I wanted to be on that end of the spectrum. So I was like choosing between physical therapy, like working in the clinic, assisting like as an assistant, or EMT. And I was like comparing them, like, okay, it's so easy to get into EMT for the most part. Especially since back home I had a program at my community college that I can just take a class and boom.
Oh, you were in.
Exactly.
I feel like being an EMT, you would get like more on the spot training, because like you're literally dealing with emergencies on the spot, like as they happen. Whereas like if you're in a clinic, it's kind of like, it's not as,
the urgency. It's very different for sure.
You are a very active person.
Correct.
You honestly are my hero. I knew like you were committed to your fitness when it was like pouring down rain, and it was like 6 a.m. and you're out like running and doing training for like some sort of like marathon thing.
I think it might have been 6 p.m., but
okay,
it was something. Yeah.
No, it was rain. I just remember it was like dark. And raining.
Yes.
And you're like, I have to go run. And I'm like, what?
And that's just what we do, But the best part about it is that other people were like, we're crazy enough to do this with you.
I love that. It's like a community of crazy people.
Oh, exactly.
what is your favorite physical activity?
Ooh, that's a tough one. If you were to ask me when I was in high school, it would be like a group sport. Like, I played lacrosse.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so dope.
It was fun. Yeah.
Oh, I wish I could play, I mean, I can play lacrosse, I'm not dead. But like, I wish I could have played lacrosse like in high school.
I get what you mean. Yeah. But it's not a West Coast sport. Like, you're private schools, that's the only way you can find it.
Yeah.
And I was like the only public school in my area that had it, so.
That's dope though.
Yeah. First program too, like at my school.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, and you said lacrosse, it would be your favorite team sport?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. But if you were to ask me now, I would say probably hiking or running.
I feel you on that.
Yeah. Actually, wait. Maybe bouldering, actually.
Ooh, is that like rock?
That's like rock climbing. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
That's why you got to come with it.
Honestly, no, I am.
Yeah.
Literally, okay. So I'm making my declaration or my promise here on camera. I, Garry-Lamont, will be going rock climbing or bouldering with Jack by the end of this podcast.
By the end of this podcast.
No, okay, wait, not this
right now.
Not this. No.
So bye,
honestly,
guys.
stop,
Okay, we'll see you later.
No, and honestly, as a lawyer, I need to be very careful with my wording. By the end of this podcast season.
I just want everyone to know that before this podcast, there was a whole document. And
Stop.
it was clear.
Expensive, and I signed right on the dotted line.
It was beautiful.
It was great.
Yeah.
Okay, so
bouldering would be my answer. Yeah.
Got you. Okay, bet.
Yeah.
I used to run track and field in high school, and I love running. Like, running is like my favorite activity.
What do you like about running?
Just like the isolation of it, kind of.
Yeah.
Just like you get to be alone with your thoughts, and it's consistent.
Yeah.
I don't. This is gonna sound so bad. I don't like doing physical activities that require a lot of like brain work.
I mean, to be fair, I totally get you.
You know, like I don't.
Like
know.
we work so hard during the day.
Right.
Like, why do I need to like think more?
Right, and like also I feel like it would like it just pulls me away from wanting to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just love running. Oh, that and jumping rope. I love to jump rope.
Okay, I respect you for that because jump rope is crazy. Like,
oh my God, it's actually hard.
Like, if you go for a long time,
yeah,
you're like hella fit.
I used to okay, so we used to do it as a kid, or me and my siblings used to do it when we were children.
Of course, yeah.
And like it was easy then because like okay, we're kids, like we're double dutching on the streets.
The limited energy.
No, literally. And now when I do it, I'm like, what the? You know?
Yeah.
Do you believe studying a social science is helpful for someone who wants to work in the medical field?
I think, if you had asked me, I mean, I think I would have believed this, like, either way, like, wholeheartedly, but Gary and I are currently in a class together.
Yeah, we are.
It involves sort of the Middle Eastern struggle, specifically in terms of immigration and migration. And it's horrendous the things that are going on in some of these countries and that are being like sort of masterminded by like, I don't want to get too much into it because I'm sure it's very political, but there's certain powers that in Europe and in North America, US, that are sort of controlling these systems in maybe economically underdeveloped countries. Yeah. Which I know we don't like to use that word.
Yeah, no, but it's true. And I think first off, I'm so happy that you are taking this class.
Me too.
You have no idea. Like, Jack, when I walked in and saw you in the class, I was all like, yes. And like, I had like a thing at the beginning of the semester where I was like, I'm not sitting by friends this semester. I'm trying to get all A's. Like, I even told Shauna, I was like, look, don't even look at me if we have the same poli-sci class. Like, you sit on the other side. And then I see Jack and I'm like, oh, Jack, sit here. Sit beside me, please. Like,
the honor of a lifetime.
No, honestly, like, just happy. So happy.
And then we transitioned from like halfway up to the front of the class.
Come on, okay?
We're showing up.
Come on.
Showing up.
It's hashtag studious.
But to get back to your question.
Please. I'm sorry. I'm going off.
Wholeheartedly, social sciences are necessary. And the reason that is because such a vital part of your diagnosis is the person that you're looking at. And they could come from like any walk of life. like when they walk in that hospital or that clinic or wherever you're treating them, there's a lot more to consider than just their immediate like injury or medical issue. There's their ability to afford medicine. There's their living situation. Their like you can't just tell a patient to get the super expensive medication or to move somewhere else because where they're living is like not, you know, healthy for their, I don't know, their lungs, for example, because they live next to a factory or something.
Yeah.
Like there is so much to consider that isn't taught in regular science classes or math classes or whatever you have to take to on your road to becoming a medical professional.
I like strongly agree. I think learning a social science in the medical field, specifically in post-colonial nations, is so important because like there's already structural racism. We actually just talked about this in like a podcast 2 podcasts ago about racial colonial governance and how like there's race-based prejudice in like now unfortunately all societies, and like it is kind of displayed in every field, you know, medical, law, economics, like it's in every field. So I think like understanding the social background and the sociology of it all definitely does help you see specific situations clearer. Like I feel like when we're brought into this world, we're kind of brought into the filter of prejudice, sometimes consciously and subconsciously. So like I strongly agree, studying social science or taking a social science course while on your road to, you know, practicing medicine is super important.
Yeah.
And apparently in Cuba, it's like mandatory for like doctors and nurses, whoever wants to work in the medical field. They have to take 2 years of a social science before they're even, you know, able to be a doctor. Also, their schooling is free. Also, so is their medical. Hashtag Catch Up America.
And honestly, like I think that it sort of needs to be made to happen.
Yes.
Because people are always going to want to take the fastest route, the cheapest route, especially when the system is charging you so much.
For sure. Oh
yeah.
God.
So like, how are you supposed to like prioritize? I mean, honestly, sometimes money. I mean, this is like probably for everybody, but like money. I don't know. Education can take a backseat to money, like just to paying for your education.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jack. Okay, so I took off 7 years from school. So like I went to school immediately after high school, college. I didn't really like school. Because I didn't like my major. I was going to school to study like television and radio broadcasting. I thought I was gonna be the next one at Seacrest. Stop. Literally on my training. I didn't even think about that. My 2-year training. Like here we are, I'm getting it to use. But yeah, I actually hated it. Like genuinely didn't like it. And I took a 7-year break. And like I was like trying to survive. Like, it wasn't meant to be 7 years. It was meant to be like a year break.
Yeah.
But then like,
you know how it goes.
Yeah, I'm like, I gotta pay my bills. I gotta pay this. I'm getting behind on this. I gotta keep going. And it wasn't until the pandemic hit where I was like able to stop and really view or like look back on my life and be like, what do you actually want? What are you actually, you know, contributing to society? You know, like, do you want to stay on the rat race of like just paying your monthly bills, or do you want to be someone who's going to, you know, move public opinion so it benefits more people? Next question. What strategies do you use to help you manage stress and anxiety?
So I think it does stem from that exercise component.
Okay.
Like, I'm very lucky to be in a position where even my major allows me to get outside and be one with nature all the time.
Yes.
Like, literally yesterday, I was on my knees, looking at paw prints, measuring them, like telling what animal was which from what paw print it had. I don't know. That's just like excites me. That's fun to me. But it's the exercise component. It's like I get to run like by I'd say 2 times a week. I get to climb at least 2 times a week. And then for my field lab, I get to like go some random new place every week, and it's like all this stuff. It does take up a lot of time.
Yeah.
But it's almost necessary for like me at least.
Yeah,
like,
it's like an investment.
It's a mental health. Like,
yeah.
In addition to it being an educational experience,
yeah.
like I'm pushing myself, and I'm mentally testing myself as well. But it's like it doesn't feel like work. It's fun.
I love that.
And being able to like be in an environment where that's the case is like so rewarding, which at the same time makes me so sad that I'm split.
Okay.
Because medicine versus ecology is very different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's either I have fun all the time or I have fun on my off days, you know?
You know, honestly, I feel like there has to be some like middle ground that you can like match the two or mix the two. Like
I think you're right. I think there's like forest like wildlife EMTs.
Oh, that would be dope.
That would be dope. I gotta make a living here.
I know, honestly, especially with this tuition, I understand. If anything last week taught me a little bit of lore.
Yeah. Oh my god.
A little bit of lore, because now we have to explain to you. So this podcast was supposed to be shot last week, okay? But we had a friend's birthday party that we didn't even really get to the main event of the birthday party because one of our other friends got a little too intoxicated, and we actually ended up in the ER. Till 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So if that taught me anything, the money genuinely doesn't matter. Anyways, okay, this is the main event. Last question.
Oh boy.
So first off, I asked DJ. I'm gonna add him because like he told me to ask you this question.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What is a pseudo penis? Also, am I pronouncing it correctly?
You are.
Pseudo?
You're pronouncing it perfectly.
Am I? Okay.
So great job on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Second of all, no thank you to DJ for making you ask this question. So here's the context.
Okay.
I was in a class last semester, and we went over the spotted hyena.
Okay.
Which no one should know this, and if you do, props to you.
Okay.
But the female spotted hyena has something called a pseudopenis, which is basically, just imagine like your reproductive system as a woman, except all of that baby, if you're having a baby, it goes out something that looks like a penis.
Okay.
And it looks like a penis. It doesn't act like a penis. It's.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Wait, she gives birth to her mini penis?
That's right. And sometimes I wouldn't even say it's that many.
Oh my God, it's a big mini? Okay, let me
Which, you know, I'm so glad we're ending the podcast on this conversation.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, Jack, thank you so much for being a guest on my podcast.
Thank you, Gary.
You were so amazing to have. You were such a delight. You were so intellectual.
No, you.
And you are a great person. I think the one thing that you can't really capture on film is someone's energy. And I can tell you that, like, Jack, since the day I met you, I was like, oh, I like him. That's so sweet. And like it was genuine, like off the jump. Do you have any last words you'd like to share with the public before you go?
Ooh, I'm gonna say exercise, volunteer.
Yes.
For your local institutions, and hospitals and wherever you can. And if anyone's interested in becoming EMT, do it. It's the most rewarding thing that you'll do probably. Yes. And as for the last thing, go in nature.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I love those. Okay, guys, we're gonna dip out. TTYL. Bye. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to like, subscribe, and share.